St Mary's Church in Akenham lies about 4 miles from Ipswich in Suffolk and has not been used for worship since 1976. The village itself today almost being non-existent, the church only accompanied by miles of rolling fields and a few lonely farm buildings.
We're actually very fortunate to still have the church here today, and certainly in this condition. During the Second World War, a German bomber was returning home when it emptied the remainder of its load almost directly onto the church, resulting in a huge amount of damage and rendering it derelict for almost 2 decades, until the mid-1960s when repair works were eventually undertaken.
Within the churchyard lay hundreds of graves, each stone a representation of a life once lived. However, one unassuming grave to the north of the church remembers an extremely short life and a burial that created shockwaves around the country, resulting in the passing of the Burial Laws Amendment Act of 1880. Joseph Ramsay died at the age of just 2 years old in 1878. At the time, the Reverend George Drury was rector at the church, and upon his appointment 32 years prior, had created quite a stir in the community, bringing with him extreme Catholic teachings which irked the local Protestant parishioners, so much so that riots, protests and violence erupted, forcing the Bishop of Norwich to step in to mediate matters. Reverend Drury had even built a 9-foot wall around the rectory in which he lived, so you can certainly see the lengths he went to protect himself and his family from angry mobs who wished to cause him harm.
Joseph Ramsay was a son of Edward Ramsay, a Baptist nonconformist, which is crucial in this story as Baptists advocate adult baptism, and as such young Joseph had never been baptised. Now when it comes to burials, the only real difference this should make to the Church of England is that the burial service from the Common Book of Prayer wouldn't be read. However, the priest would still be expected to accompany the coffin to the gravesite and be present for the duration of the ceremony. In August of 1878, between 20 and 30 mourners arrived at the church, accompanied by Reverend Wickham Tozer, a congregation minister from Ipswich, who was attempting to hold a service in the field adjoining the churchyard. Now, what happened next is up to much speculation. However, it's alleged that Reverend Drury came marching over to accompany the coffin to the gravesite. However, many of the mourners have stated he actually came to break up the congregation. Either way, both Reverend Drury and Tozer almost came to blows before Drury stormed off, locking the churchyard behind him without burying the remains of poor Joseph Ramsay. Following this, the mourners were forced to pass a tiny coffin through a hedge and bury it without any form of service.
The following week, the story hit the headlines, reporting that Reverend Drury had prevented a Christian burial as he did not see Joseph as Christian due to him being unbaptized. The story caused uproar throughout the country. However, interestingly, the original article itself, published by the East Anglian Daily Times, was written by none other than Reverend Wickham Tozer, with many of the letters of complaint in the following weeks coming from the mourners themselves. Reverend Drury eventually sued the editor of the paper for libel and won the case, surprisingly garnering him a number of supporters in the process. The Burial Laws Amendment Act was passed in 1880, which gave free access to churchyards by law, a direct result of the events here in Akenham almost 150 years ago.
These events certainly gained this tiny village some notoriety and solidified it in history, but today it's known for a far different reason, for it's said that the devil lurks on these holy grounds.
The origins of the legend have been lost to time. However, it's said that the devil lies under a split gravestone in the churchyard, and that walking around the church 13 times anti-clockwise will awaken him. Everyone from local children through to paranormal investigators have put this theory to the test, and some claim to have felt a change in the atmosphere upon completing their 13th circuit around the church, the whole ambience of the graveyard taking on a sinister persona, and pressure seemingly heavy in the atmosphere. It appears that the church has had a reputation for being associated with the devil and evil for many years, with locals relaying stories passed down over generations of devil worship, possessions, and even physical attacks from unseen forces. In 2018, this image was taken by Ethan Perry and was featured in the East Anglian Daily Times, and shows what he believes to be a figure standing behind a window of the otherwise locked and empty church. There is of course no way of knowing for sure, but I wonder if the stories of the devil and strange events in the churchyard may have their roots in the aforementioned story concerning the burial of Joseph Ramsay. 150 years ago in the grand scheme of things really isn't a very long time, but I wonder, possibly after the church's abandonment, given that the church already had a great deal of negativity attached to it, combined with a very spooky and sinister looking ruin, this spawned stories of the devil and evil lurking on the grounds.
So, we have actually got a little bit of a plan for tonight's investigation. Instead of just coming in here and just investigating as we normally would, one of the main things about this church is that apparently if you walk around it 13 times, the devil will appear, or an entity will emerge from a cracked gravestone. Now, James, you've already found the cracked gravestone, haven't you?
Yeah, but Sophie reckons that she found it first.
I did find it first. He just ignores me like he always does.
Well, I wasn't listening to you. I was busy. So yeah,
Either way, a cracked gravestone has been found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it over this way?
Over to the left.
Yeah, on the left.
And I was wondering when we first got here whether there'd be multiple cracked gravestones and we had to work out.
Weirdly enough, there only seems to be one that's properly cracked in the whole graveyard.
This one?
It's over the other side of them, next to the one with the actual bit in half.
This one? Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, to be fair, it is the only cracked one. So this could very well be.
But I think like the crack on this runs the whole way along it, but that one's actually in half.
Yeah.
But that's only the end bit.
Yeah, I should imagine it's this one. I've had a look around whilst I've been walking about and I've not seen any other cracked ones. I didn't even see this, so well done. But
For me, not for him.
the idea is that I'd like to do is set up a load of equipment on here and walk around the church 13 times and see if any of that equipment is triggered. Now, a lot of people say that they've felt the atmosphere change around here. They said it's got a lot colder. They've said that it feels like a pressure suddenly emerges when they've walked around the church 13 times. But I wondered if we do that and we can actually document any kind of actual atmospheric changes when we do it.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing is
What's on the paper, Luke?
Yeah. And why am I carrying around this piece of paper?
Yeah.
I think it must have been about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a bit longer.
I did this drawing.
This place was featured in the East Anglian Daily Times, just a piece on the history of it and the supposed legends around it. And a few years later, one of the readers actually emailed in with a photo they'd taken here, which they believe shows a ghost in the church. It doesn't actually do it justice on this printout, unfortunately.
So is that from inside or is it outside?
This is from the outside looking in. What they're referring to is that unusual shape formation there. But I thought if we print this out and match up where exactly it is that the photo was taken from, see if we can debunk it.
I think that's on the front right hand side. We'll have a look. Let's go have a look.
Is it either there or there?
I didn't know if the back only had little windows.
This one, yeah.
So
That's it, yeah.
they would have been standing a little bit further this way, about here when the photo was taken. Now, what's the first thing you can see in that window?
Another window.
It appears to be.
You mean like a mark on the window?
Yeah, if you look, there is actually. It looks like where ivy's been taken off it at some point. It's left some residue.
Oh yeah. Because this is all new wire in front.
Yeah, in the exact place. It looks like it has continued up there at some point. All in that area,
Could quite possibly be.
which comes out to about there. It looks like there was some there as
And up
well,
here.
which would be about that shape. So, I mean, I always wonder when I see stuff taken through church windows and like a ghost is seen. Usually, when you look at the actual church, the windows are about 10 foot up in the air, but this one is actually the right height.
Ground
So,
level.
if there was someone standing the other side, yes, it would be about the right size of an apparition. But yeah, I think what's captured on that photo is just the whatever these markings are.
But then also, what's this light reflection thing?
That?
Oh, I should imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, that's a point then. Because if this metal is on, would they have been able to remove more of that?
That melt.
Because the I would have guessed they'd have put this on, and then that would be it. They would leave
Well,
it on.
it's changed slightly because whatever that is isn't there anymore.
That's the window ledge. Is that the window ledge up there?
Quite possibly.
From like this sort of
I
angle.
think you're right because you can see the light coming through from the back window.
Yeah.
And that's why I said to you, the first thing I can see is that other window.
Yeah.
That would be my only thing to like rebunk it, if anything. Is like I wouldn't imagine they'd put this up, then go to the extent of taking it down just to remove some of it, and then put it back up again.
there was something stuck behind that, like taped on, and that's what the markings
They've got
are
like
on that bit
veiny
of glass.
marks, and which made me think it might be ivy. But yeah, either way, I think that may be a debunk. And genuinely, I was expecting to be able to debunk this. I thought we'd come here and there'd be some kind of optical illusion, or you know, something unusual that's just easily been mistaken. I genuinely didn't know that there was going to be those smear marks on the window. I thought it'd be something inside the church, but yeah, we've debunked that. But certainly, I'm really interested to try this little experiment later. Very unusual place.
We've already had one person come along and say, yeah, it's really haunted.
Yeah, and then we've had another 2 people sort of almost tell us in so many words, clear off.
Go. But funnily enough, like come and tell it, it's like they didn't have anything solid enough they could say you shouldn't be here, but it was just enough to come and say like,
I don't want you here.
I don't. Yeah, on a personal level, go away.
The first lady was more inquisitive as to what we were doing, and she's obviously a believer and has experienced things. But the other 2 people that have come across have sort of said, you know, why are you on my land? And it's like,
Well, they haven't even said it was their land. They've just turned around and said, there's a lot of private land around here.
This is God's.
God's.
But whatever, you know, can't please everybody.
No. I think as well, when we come back a little bit later, because like there's a farm or a horse stable, something right there, there's people there at the moment. When we come back, it should be dead.
I reckon if we give it a little while till it gets dark, there shouldn't be anyone about, and we can, crack on with this investigation.
We arrived back at the church and set up some equipment on the cracked grave, including an environmental meter used for measuring wind speed, ambient temperature and air pressure, a Geiger counter taking readings on radiation, a tri-field EMF meter set to record any fluctuations in the magnetic field, a Magnafex which will detect changes in the polarity of a magnetic field, as well as a cat ball which will flash should it be moved at any point during the experiment.
So we've got all of our equipment set up. Let's walk around the church 13 times.
Are we going to mark it as from here?
Turning my phone off.
Yeah, let's mark it from here.
So,
Unless we mark it from the door.
yeah. Because we'll finish then out the door.
So can you count as 0 and count as 1?
So when we get round to the front of the door, that'll be 1.
Okay. I'm not very good with numbers.
Let's go, see if anything changes. And I think people have said that the atmosphere has changed when they've done that.
That's probably because they get dizzy. I get dizzy after walking around the church 13
So like,
times.
what would you say at this current point in time then, like at the moment, how it feels? Because there's a kind of like slight spookiness to it, but I think a lot of that's just because of what we've heard.
I
There's a
completely
very-
agree. Slight spookiness is the phrase I'd use.
I haven't got like chills on the back of your neck sort of thing.
There's
anything like that.
A mysterious air about.
Yeah, there's also a slight kind of apprehension of from when we're here in the daytime and having living people turn up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's about
whether or not that
10
happens.
now, is it?
Yeah.
10?
yeah,
So hopefully they've all gone to bed, but we'll find out.
find out. Here we go. This is 0 to 1. Gonna get a workout in tonight.
Are you going to like speed this up or cut this down?
Well, thing is, if anything's happening on the other camera, it'll want to be in time of where we are and how long we've been walking around and stuff. Did you say this grave on the right is the one that's
That one.
right? It's going to be funny coming past that and seeing if anything's changed on it on each cycle.
So this is round 1. Another 12 to go.
Doesn't look like there's any lights or anything on in the church.
I do wonder with stuff like this, who first found that it's 13 times?
Yeah, who was walking around the church that many times, keeping count, and then realised, like, hang on.
It's 13 is the magic number.
Well, 13 is a magic number in regards to lots of things.
True.
You know, they don't, in care homes, they don't have a room 13 because it's bad luck.
And they don't have 13 months of the year either.
No, they don't.
Anything over there? Nope. So it'd be spooky if we come round and the cat ball's going or something. There's a tie rope to you and drag you around there.
Can you imagine, like, there's a CCTV camera just watching 3 people like on the church?
So what is it that's actually said to happen?
The devil emerges from his slumber.
That cracked frame, the devil is supposed to be sleeping.
Final lap.
Kind of on this round, like getting very anxious to.
I was going to say the same. As soon as we came past the door,
I all of a sudden feel a bit,
nauseous
yeah.
from dizziness.
Well, no, it's more just like, I don't know.
We're only like steps away from seeing if this is going to do anything. Oh. That made me jump. Oh!
What?
No way.
What?
Trifle just went off.
Is it?
Versus 13.
Trifle just went off. Went as we came around that last time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll see what else is recorded then.
What?
Has the
And we, if you think about it, we effectively started from there.
yeah, in theory, because we walked from there
To here.
to here, and
Then
then said
went-
we're going to start from here. So yeah, over there.
It's going off. I sure I just heard it again. That was very weird timing. Bang on, 13th time round.
We reviewed the footage from our locked off camera and can see that the exact moment we completed our 13th circuit around the church, the trifield meter, which detects changes in the magnetic field, registered a spike. We went over the 14 minutes of footage leading up to this, but at no point did the meter spike, nor did it do it again for the remaining hour of our time at the church. As you may have noticed, the sound of an aeroplane can be heard flying overhead in the footage, which at the time we didn't take any notice of. Curious as to whether the aircraft may have been emitting some kind of signal that could have interfered with the trifield meter, I listened through the whole recording and found 2 other examples of an overhead aircraft, neither of which registered a reading on the meter. Was this simply one of the greatest coincidences we've seen in our 14 years of investigating the paranormal, or had us walking around the church 13 times in fact awakened something in the churchyard?
That was really strange. As like I was saying, at the exact point as well, the whole reason I even looked over there and stopped and put my torch on it is because I heard something like scurry through the grass.
We've walked around the church 13 times now. The legend is to be believed the devil should be before us. If that is the case, then where are you? Make something happen. Show us that you're here.
Something on the right. Could have been something falling from a tree. What was that? Like a gate closing.
Come on, if you're supposed to be the devil, surely you've got powers, surely you're able to do things.
Is it said to be the devil or like a devil?
The devil. Who's been summoned here? Are you really the devil? Or are you just a spirit that resides here?
Because that's one of the points about this whole thing that...
I think your bottom light's on the way out.
Oh, right. Yeah, this is one of the points about the whole story of it. I imagine it's probably more like a spirit that's here and people have jumped to. It's the biggest, most evil one there is.
The devil aspect of it does sound very far-fetched.
But whether it's just like some kind of... I mean, do either of you feel any different from when we started, noticeably?
I don't feel any different, no.
No, but I like you said, when we got to that bit, as we were coming into the 13th lap, so to speak, I felt that anxious.
Yeah.
There's apprehension there, yeah.
If you're going to do anything for us, it's going to have to be more significant so we know it's you. Don't know why I immediately got worried that like a brick's going to fall off the roof then.
It's very hot fuzz, isn't it?
Yeah. I was thinking if it's the devil or a demon, like there's plenty of masonry here to play with.
Just giving him ideas, James. Shut him out.
Could you show yourself, please? Can we see you?
You know when we've done the thing before saying about like going to a location and then you start having the thing of what like kind of emerges in your mind as like, oh, this is the thing that we should be doing.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like when we first got back to here, I almost felt like the spirit or whatever it is that's here is kind of like on the other side of that. Like where we are stood here, it's kind of opposite across the other side of it from us.
You go over there then.
I don't know why I got that sort of thought.
I mean, overgrown area.
Like here, yeah. Like, not even as like a psychic impression of it, but kind of, I almost had like a visual in my head of the way that we'll end up talking to this thing is it's across from that point.
Is James right? Are you here? Is this your area of the churchyard?
We've gone around 13 times, now show yourself. You should be powerful enough to do so. Appear before us in some way. Yeah, I just got a really weird feeling of like it's standing behind us.
In what direction?
There.
Like, it's stalking us, or it's just hiding from us?
That it's here, kind of almost like you've brought me here, now what do you want kind of thing.
We want you to do something that lets us know that you're here with us. We've got lots of devices and equipment on the grave over there. If you go towards it, that will let us know that you're here with us.
Confirm to us that you're here and then we'll communicate further with you.
With nothing substantial happening, we made our way down to the entrance gate of the church to gather our thoughts, which is when James suggested going to the area around the cracked grave by himself.
Hello? Are you still with us? Do you guys just talk?
No.
What did you hear?
Some weird whispering voice behind me.
No, we were talking like this. He's just going off his own.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that, but that wasn't what I heard. It was if you two were like whispering, like harsh sort of whispering to each other.
No. Keep going then. Maybe it's if you're on your own.
Did I just hear you? Does he prefer it if it's just one person? If you are here with us, can you make that meter over there go off again? Make that sound. We walked around 13 times and now we just want to know if you're still here. Really conscious of that corner of the church. Oh, there's a breeze coming from that way. There's a really cold breeze coming towards me from that corner. I still haven't got the chills or anything though. Oh, it's freezing cold here. Is there a breeze over where you are?
No.
There's a like ice cold coming towards me from down there. Oh. That's so weird. I'm like walking into a cloud of ice. None of the trees are moving. Is grass moving? Literally just here. None of that's moving, it's just this. Here. Thinking, is it channeled through that? But that's got a tree there. Hello? Oh, I don't like this. Nah, I'm coming back for a minute. That was really weird. You know the thing of it's like, I kind of want to go and look, but I kind of also don't want to go and look.
Nothing changed over there where we were. There wasn't a
Nothing at all.
breeze. There wasn't. Didn't get cold or anything.
So I stood just past where the end point of the loops was,
yeah.
and then I heard like, I mean, it was like the most like stereotypical like something whispered behind me.
Yeah.
Which I thought was you two whispering to each other over there, but it was closer, and I kept being really aware the whole time that it like, I don't know if it was like hyper listening, but it was like something coming up behind me sort of every now and again. Standing like parallel with where the grave is, there's like, it's like, I'll show you like Sophie, it's like,
Please don't. Oh, okay.
like that coming from that corner.
Like an isolated breeze.
Literally, and a minute earlier I go, I'm really aware of that corner, I don't want to go any further. And then I'm filming, looking at the grass like that, and the only grass moving is next to where I am. Everything else completely still. But
It's on that corner.
but it's even weirder because I thought, like, is this a channel of air? But there's trees right there, so it'd be blocking it out. Oh, it's here. It's here. Walk further forwards.
Oh yeah, it's like you literally walk through like a really cold spot.
Ice cold.
Right, so here we're looking at.
Did you set up a cat ball?
Yeah. So it's
Just how that works.
7.1 Celsius, and we're getting about a metre a second of wind.
Yeah.
0.1 metre a second of wind. So I don't know how accurate this thermometer actually is because I've not tested it properly, but for argument's sake.
It's not 7.1 degrees, liar.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
The real feel is like 3 degrees, mate.
It feels a lot colder than that.
So we are getting a slight breeze here. Only a slight breeze.
I keep feeling it though, coming like ice cold.
Probably work out what direction it's coming from.
So I thought it was coming from that corner.
If you're making the environment change here, and you're making this breeze that we can feel, can you give us a really big blast of that? All your energy and all your force, can you blow it towards us? Big surge of energy. And even if we put this lower down, still not getting any more of a breeze further down. It's completely the same wherever in this area, which is weird because it doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like windy over here, but it is there.
Which brings into the question of, if it's not the wind we can feel, what can we feel? What are our bodies reacting to?
The devil.
Well, in a weird way, I'm not saying the devil, but is there some kind of, when we say we get temperature drop, or sorry, we feel a temperature drop, or we get the chills or something, maybe it's not the physical temperature, maybe it's another force that we don't quite understand at the moment, that we can feel, but we haven't got any technology to record it. Maybe something that affects more so our brain, or like, I don't know, the electrical current in our bodies.
We remained in the churchyard but were unable to document anything further and ended our investigation around midnight. This had certainly been one of the most intriguing nights in recent times for us, and we may be the first people to have actually documented something that lends credibility to the old legend at the church. Of course, in order to actually prove anything, we'd need to repeat the experiment numerous times, which we intend to do in the future, and as always, we'll update you with our findings.